Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying with my videos. This video is also from a Python playlist. In this video, we'll understand what is break, continue and pass and why it is important under any loop. So let's get started. Let me share my screen and I will understand in detail all these three components. Perfect. So I have created one new IPYNV file as usual, break, continue, pass. And after this session, I will push this again to my GitHub repo and I will give the link of my GitHub repo to this video description. You can download from there. So let's start. First, try to understand what is break. So this brake is similar to vehicle brake, your bike and car brake. Yeah, it is similar, but not exactly. So what is the meaning of brake? Brake means if there is any moving thing, you want to stop that. So for that, you apply the brake, right? That is what we understand from the normal point of view by bike or any car perspective, right? So now in your Python code also, you need a break to stop the execution of your loop. What does it mean? That why do we need to exactly stop loop? Loop is something that it iterate through any of the iterator, that is list, tuple or dictionary or let's say string, and then it will do the further operation. Then why do we need to stop? So let's say that you have one list from 1 to 1000 and you want to only get one element, that is 20. So as soon as you get that 20, do you think it's really important to continue the loop further? Because once you achieved your element 20, then from 21 to 1000, there is no use of iterating your list, because you're not going to get 20 again. To understand, right? So break is something that it stops the loop to further iterate before it complete the iteration. So once the break stop the loop, the next line of code get executed. And why it is important? As I said that once you achieve whatever the element you want to access, to just stop waste of your computational resource, you apply the break. So let's try to understand this by a code. So what I'll do over here, I'll just write over here, let's say for I in range of 1, 20. Perfect. Then what I want over here, let's first print I. So once you print I, you will get all 1 to 19. But my desire is that I want only one element, that is what? That is 5. So if I, let's say I is equal to 5, then what I'll do, I'll say print over here and I'll write over here found 5 in the given list. Perfect. And then I will not print that inside this if. I will print that I out of the this if. So now if you execute this, you will see that as soon as this actually true, when I equal to 5, this line get executed, found 5 in the given list. Perfect. After that, it has printed this 5 and further all the elements from this given range. But we don't need these all, right? But you can say instead of executing this out of the list, out of this if condition, we can execute over here. So if you do that, you will get only 5. Yeah, that's true. You are going to print or get only 5 once this it is true. But it doesn't mean that after this 5, your loop is going to stop. It's not like that. It is going to further iterate till 19. You want to see that? Let's see over here. So else, and over here I'll write print and I. So see over here. So under your if condition, you are getting only 5, and once it is not equal to 5, you are getting all the element under the else condition. I'm making sense, right? So see, once your iteration start, so first is 1, so it is false, so it is coming to the else and is going to print over here. Then second for the same, third 4, and once it is 5, it is true, this statement is true, that is going to execute this line of code and this line of code. Again the loop will start, and 6, 7 till 19 is going to execute through your else condition, right? So it means that if you're writing if also, if you don't apply break, you are going to get all the 19 element from your list or range. Perfect. But that is basically a waste of your computational resource. You don't need that. Right now you have only 20. Let's say you have a terabyte of files there, you want to find some elements, and once you achieve that, then is no further not required to continue that loop. You must break that, right? So how we can do that? So what I'll do, once it get printed over here, let's say I'll write over here break. Let's see what happened for you. See, so first your I will get executed by 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So see over here. So first execution is 1. It will come over here false. So it will go to the else and it will print over here because I've given the print statement over here. Okay. Then again the second is I value is 2. So again it is false. So it will go to the else condition and it will execute this. It will print this. Then again for same for 3 and 4. Once it reach to 5, it will come to your if condition because this statement is true. So it will print this line found 5 in the given list, and then it will print your 5 and then it will break. Once it break means your loop is stopped. It is not going to execute again 6, 7, 8, 9 until 19. So it is stopped. So here you are saving your resource, computational resource. I think I'm very much clear when to apply break and what is the use of break inside any loop. Perfect. Now let's try to understand that what is the real use of this. We understand when to apply break and how to apply the break. But now when it's come to real scenario, in real application, how we are going to execute this. So let's start and understand that part first. So we will understand this by a logging system. Let's say that you are logging to any system and you have a 3 attempt to try your password. If you are wrong more than 3 times, then it is going to what? It is going to give you warning that your account is blocked, right? So, but if you are going to achieve that in the first try, then there is no use of applying for the 2 or 3 tries, right? What does it mean? Let's say you have one account in banking system or a Facebook or Instagram. Perfect. So there you are giving your username and password. In the first attempt, you have given either username or password wrong. So it will give you 2 more attempt to log in using the username and password. But again, for the second trial and third trial, your username or password is wrong, then your account is blocked. Perfect. So you have a 3 trial over here. But in the first trial only, let's say your account username and password is correct, and then there is no further required to go for second and third try. I'm clear, right? So let's try to understand that. So over here I'll write password equal to, let's say, admin 123. Perfect. And you have a max attempt equal to 3. So 3 times you can try with your password to log in your account, right? So for, let's say, attempt in range of 1 comma max attempt, whatever the max attempt you have, so you are going to execute with that. So why I'm writing 1 over here? Because it is going to return you as a 1 comma 2 comma 3. Perfect. You know very well this. Now once you are inside the loop, what you want first? You want first as a user input, right? So over here I write user password equal to input. I want the input from the user. And over here I'll write enter your password. All good. Now I will check that enter password is similar, or let's say same, not similar, same as your set password. Then it is going to log in your account. So you'll write over here if your user password is equal to your password. If it is same, then what it will do, it will print over here you have logged in successfully. After that I write over here break should be logged in. You have been logged in successfully. Perfect. And then we apply the break over here. All good. Then we'll write over here else Once let's say your password is wrong, then it will go to the else condition and it will continue that. It will first print over here wrong password. You are left with attempt, and over here your max attempt, whatever you have, minus your attempt. So this is going to give you that what is the how many attempt you left. Perfect. So let's say you have applied all 3 times and your password is wrong. So in that case, what it will do that it will go into the else condition and it will print that your account has been logged. Perfect. But you applied 3 times. You enter the 3-time password and third time you have logged in. So in that case, this will not going to print. So now let's try to execute this. So once there's some mistake over here. What is the mistake? What is the input is not defined? It should be input, not input. Now try to execute this. Yeah. So it's asking enter the password. The first time I'm going to write some wrong password. So wrong password and you are left with attempt 2. Okay. Over here again you write the wrong password. Wrong password, you are left with attempt 1. Now again wrong password and you are left with 0. Your account has been logged. Then it is going to enter this one. Now again try to execute this, and first time I'm going to enter this password. Once I enter this password, you have been logged in successfully and your loop has been what? Your loop is stopped. Perfect. Now let's try again, and you write over here wrong password first time. You attempt with 2, again you write a wrong password. Perfect. Once you write, I should write. Okay, it basically given some kind of computational error. So what I'll do, I'll try to execute again. So let's say first time wrong password. You are attempt with 2 attempt, right? Again I'll write the wrong password and I'll try to execute this. So you are left with 1, and this time I'm going to pass the correct password. So you have been logged in successfully. Clear? Now what I'll do that I will remove this break from here. I will remove this break and try to understand this. Now I'll execute this, and first time I'm going to execute and pass you this one, the correct password. See, you have been logged in successfully. Once you have logged in successfully, then again this password code is running, asking again the password, because I have given the maximum attempt 3. So it will ask for 3 attempt. Although my first attempt is correct. So in that, this is the wrong, right? This is wrong. So what I need to do, once your password is correct, you should immediately terminate your for loop. I think it's making sense, guys, right? That's why we are using break over here. If you don't use the break and first time your password is correct, further this for loop will continue for the maximum attempt and it will ask the password, which is wrong, right? Once your password is correct, you should break and go for the further execution, whatever is there. This is how your break system works. Perfect. So we'll understand the next real world example of break. So let's say that I have some product over here, a list of product where we have a product ID, name and price. Perfect. So user will enter product ID. So once the user will enter the product ID, that product ID will search into your product list, and once it is matched, then it will give the product details and it will break the loop. And if it is not matching, it will further execute and try to match that. If it is let's say for all the iteration, if your search ID, which is from the user side, it is not matching with your product ID, then it's going to print that there is no product found. Perfect. So how it's going to work? Let's see that I have one search ID. Search ID equal to int and input, and I'm writing over here enter the product ID. Okay, and this should be inside your int function, int function. So why I'm writing int over here? Because your input from the user side should be in integer, then only it is going to match and execute the further line of code or search the product and return that. So if you're not understanding this, please watch the previous videos. You will understand what is the meaning of int over here over the input. So once the my code will execute, this is going to first ask the search ID. Once I have a search ID, then I'll write a for loop for product in products. So it will try to search in your products, and then it will try to match if your search ID, or let's say a product ID, not search ID, or you can write search ID also. If your search ID is equal to your product ID, equal to your product ID. I did a mistake. It should be ID. Then what is going to give? It is going to print what? It is going to print your, and once it is printed, then it is going to break the loop. Else it is going to print over here product not found. Product not found. And it should be under the inverted comma. Perfect. Now let's try to execute this. So it is asking enter the product ID. So I'm going to write 103. Once I've written 103, product not found, and then you have a this. Why it is printing product not found? Because once you enter 103, it is going to check over here, and if it is not there, it is going to else condition and print that. Okay, and for 2 it is going to return not, and for the third one it is going to give this. It should not be like this. I would say it should be, this else should be outside. Yeah, first it should continue for all the items, and if it is not found, then only should print the product not found. Perfect. So there was a bug in the code. Now let's try to execute again, and I'm writing over here again 103. So we have the product detail over here, and the loop has stopped. Now let's try again and write over here 105. Enter product not found, and loop has stopped. Right? Again, let's write over try to run 104, and you got the product and loop has stopped. Again, let's try to execute and write over here, let's say 155, product not found. Now what I'll do that I will remove this break system from here. I mean the break I have used over, not system, like the break component which I have written over here, I'll try to remove that. So now let's try to execute again and write over here 103. Just notice this time what is the difference between the break, with break and without break. Okay, so I've entered 103, which is available over here, right? So once I click on enter, you have a 103. For the 103 you have a product, and at the end you have a product not found also. You may say that for the 103, once you enter, this product is going to iterate through and try to match, right? So for the first iteration, until and unless it is not going to get all, it is not going to what? Return over here. I mean, I'm making sense over here or not? See how this code is running without breaks. Once you enter over here, let's say 103. Okay, once you enter 103 over here, after that this code will start to, this loop will start to execute. At the first iteration you have a 101, and it will come over here, and it is not matching with 103. So again it will back to your for loop, and again the product will get assigned this ID 102 and all the details. Again it will come over here, your product ID is 102 and search ID is 103. Again it is false, it will go back to your product for loop. Over here your product again get assigned this, complete this dictionary, and it will come to the next line of code, which is if condition. Under that your search ID is 103 and product ID is 103. So it is going to print this line of code. Perfect. After this it will again go back to the product for loop, and over here this dictionary will get assigned to the product. It will come back over here and it will search for that, and it is 103 and 104, so it is false. So once it is false, it will go back to your for loop, and there is no further execution over here because you have iterated complete list. So from here it will come to this line of code and it is going to print you product not found. Perfect. Now let's try to understand same code with 101. 101. At the first attempt, you are going to get your product. Perfect. 101, you got your product. And then also you are having this product not found. Perfect. Which is wrong, right? You should write over here break. So once you found the product, you should break your for loop. Let me see 101. Perfect. Now if you again execute this 103, if you execute this 104, and if you again execute this with 105, not found. So I think I'm making sense, guys, when to apply the break. Perfect. Okay, so now we'll understand continue. What is continue? Continue is just opposite of your break. So whenever you meet certain condition and you want to overlook that and further continue your loop. So in that case, we use the continue. What does it mean that we want to overlook something and then continue the loop? So for example, let's try to understand with your break. So in the break, whenever we meet the desired element, we break that. But certain condition, let's say that we want that if we meet the certain condition, we don't want to break. We want to continue. We want to overlook that. It should not get into my further line of code, but it should iterate over the loop. I'm not making sense, right? Let's understand with the example over here. So let's say for I have a one range for I in range of 1 comma 20, or let's say 21. Okay. So now what I'll do, if I is equal to 2, whenever you have I did a mistake. I executed this. So in that case, you want to continue, and over here in the else, or you want to, let's say, print, but if you outside the your loop, then you have the only last element. So over here it should be else, or you can just write over here print I, or it should be I. So now see, once you see this line of code, whenever it is meeting this I equal to 2, it is continue, and at the end it is printing I. So in this print you will not find the 2 over here. It means that I want to skip that particular element from my execution. So this is where your continue works. So sometime what happen, if there is some error in your code and you are not able to fix, so particular for that error, you want to overlook that. You want to just pass that, and for the line of code you should execute. You understand my question, right? Let's say that you have one list of file. In that file you have a PDF, you have a text, you have a CSV and Excel, right? And you want only that whatever the your PDF is, that it should be skipped. So you will write that end with PDF and continue, and then you start the further execution. So it will get skipped all those. Or you can write also whenever you have let's say multiple over here. You have a text, you have a CSV, you have an Excel and PDF. So if you don't write continue in that case, then what it will do? It is going to, you have to write for all the examples, like all the files you have to write, especially if condition. If let's say your file end with Excel, then execute. If your file end with CSV, continue. If your file end with text, continue. In that case, you have to write 5 different lines. But once you write, if your file end with PDF, continue, it means that it will skip that and it will going to execute all the files over there. So you want to see that? Let me write this over here. Let's say that I have one list. File equal to, let's say I have a example.pdf. Okay, and then I have, let's say over here python.txt. Okay, and then over here let's say I have a file.csv. Okay, and then I have over here, let's say a notebook.xlsx. XL XX, I guess. I mean, so I'm not getting the end. What is the extension of XL? But I think this is the one, XLXS. Or let me search that. XL extension XLSX. Okay. So I have a 4 file over here. So what I'll do for F in file. Okay. F in file, and over here, uh, if F dot ends with, let's say, PDF. Right over here, print. Yes. Just trying to understand that I'm writing correctly, ends with. Yes, okay. So if it is that, then I'm going to write over here, continue. Continue. And over here, print F. You will see that I'm not having the PDF file in this. I have the other all files, but I don't have a PDF files. So I want to overlook this what PDF over here. That's why I have written the continue. It means that whenever I have this PDF, and with PDF means I'll having this example.pdf, I want to continue. I don't want to execute. It means that you just overlook that, ignore that one, and further execute your line of code. So this is how your continue works. But in break, what do we do that whenever you reach that specific elements, then you print that and break the loop, right? This is how it works in the break. But in continue, whenever you reach that particular element, just overlook that, means ignore that, and further execute the lines of code. So again, try to understand that with the next line of example. So the next line of example is, let's say, print only odd number from 1 to 20. So what I'll do, for I in range of 1,21. Perfect. And over here, if I modular division by 2 is equal to 0, if it is that, then continue. And over here, print. See, you will not have any even number in this. Or if you want to make the list, you just write odd number equal to one list, and then you just write over here this list to append all the odd number. Dot append print this line of code. You have only the odd numbers. Why? Whenever it is divisible by 2, any number divisible by 2 is an even number. So whenever that number is divisible by 2, I want to skip that, overlook that. So this is the example of continue, guys. Now next, let's try to understand the next line of code with the real example, how it's going to work in the real world. So now understand more, continue with the next example. So let's say that you have a list of emails. Perfect. So you have a list of emails and you want to just further process this list, and you want to get only correct email ID in your next list to further execute the line of code, whatever you desire. So main agenda over is that I want to filter out only the correct email ID. So for what I'll do for that, for email in emails, we know that whenever we have an email, in that at the rate will be there, right? So if at the rate not in email, or the length of your length of email is let's say less than equal to 0, in that case I want to continue. Okay, and then over here print your email. Over here print your email. Let's try to execute this. So you have only the filtered email, whatever having at the rate. So this one and this and this one. Or you, if you want, you can further apply what over here, or your email is not end with .com, or email dot things with dot com. If it is or not, take, yeah. So you only filtering the dot com from here. So if you remove this part, you will get all the email with valid at the rate and the company domain, whatever is there. So this is how continue works in your loop. I hope I'm making sense. Now we'll understand the pass. Pass is very simple, guys. So pass we write whenever we have no clue that what is going to write in the code, and maybe later on we want to pass some of the further component inside that code. What does it mean? So it means that uh, let's say that whenever you write any if condition or you write for conditions, you need to write the further line of code. Otherwise, it is going to give the error. But if let's say you have right now no clue that what you're going to write over there, then but you want to continue the flow of your code, in that case we write the pass. Pass is nothing but a placeholder which is used to be in the code for the temporary purpose to just continue the flow, not give throw any error. So I'm making sense or not? If not, let's try to understand with the examples. So let's say I'm writing for I in range of 1 comma 1 comma 20. Okay, and over here if your I modular division by 2 equal to 0, let's say that I don't know what I want to what I want to do at this point of time or this line of code, then and I want to continue my execution as well, so I'll write pass, and over here else print I. So this is how it's going to be, because I is going to execute this line of code, but I don't want that what I want to write over here, whether I want to print that or I want to uh, hold that into some of the list, or what kind of process I want to write over here. I have no idea as of now. So for that, I'm writing this pass. Okay, or let's say if you are more confused, I can write over here also. So this pass is working as a placeholder, and it is not throwing any error and continue the sequence of code and execute as well. So pass is nothing but a placeholder which is which used to be in the code for a temporary purpose to just avoid any kind of a error. Clear? So it means that this line of code is executing, but this is dead as of now. There is no dependency, or you can say there is no meaning of this line of code as of now in this sequence of code, or maybe there is no meaning of this line as well. And if you write over here, let's say print done, this will work. It means that this line of code or this for loop has no meaning in this code, but it is not throwing any error. It is letting the down line of code to execute. But if you don't write this pass over here, let's say, then it will be very difficult for you. It is going to execute and give the error. But as soon as you write over here, let's say pass, it will not let you it will let you to execute the down line of code. Perfect. So this is how it is worked, and pass is just used as a temporary purpose. Once you come back again, have some ideas that what I want to write over here, you just remove this and you just write that this is what I want to write. That's all. Right. So now let's understand this pass with further examples. So over here I have a user role base access. What does it mean? So let's say if you are admin, you have a full access of any application. If you are a, let's say, editor, you will have some different access. If you are a developer, you will have some different access. So I'll write over here, let's say user role. Okay, user role will be the input from the user side, and over here enter your role. Perfect. I'm writing over here enter your role. Then now over here, if your user role is equal to what? Admin. or let's make this lower also, because someone if enter lower, then what you will do? Someone enter, let's say, caps or title, then it will be difficult, right? You have to write for multiple scenarios over here. So in that case, you just convert everything into the lower case. And in that case, you're going to give the, you have a full access of the application. Okay, now let's say uh, if user role is equal to let's say developer, but I don't know that what kind of a access I want to give to this developer right now, so I'll just write pass over here. Then again, if let's say user role is equal to let's say I'm writing over here editor. Okay, and I'm not sure that what kind of access I should give to this guy as well. So now again elif, and now you have, let's say, manager user role. Let's say you have a manager, so I want to give this guy access as a print project dashboard. You have a view access of the application. Perfect. So this is how I have all. Now if I execute this, it will ask the enter the username, user role. So I'll write admin, let's say admin. You have a full access of the application. Now if you write again over here, let's say I'm writing over developer is not going to give, because maybe it's not matching with the required this name. So what I'll do, I'll write else also, and over here print invalid role. Now try to execute this and write over here developer invalid role. Perfect. Now execute again and write over here developer developer invalid role. Why? Okay, because it is converting everything is small, so the D should be small. Now let's say I'm writing developer, so you're not going to get anything over here. Over here also this should be E as a this, and M also should be M like this. Now let's say developer developer developer, so you are not going to get anything because we have not written anything over here. Perfect. Now let's say manager, manager, manager. So you have a view access of this application. So you understand what is the meaning of pass in the code. It is just to continue the flow and not throw any error, and it is work as a placeholder as a temporary basis. Once you have the idea what access you want to give to the developer, you will remove this pass and you will write the actual code over here. So this is all about break, continue, and pass. So now a quick summary, what is the difference between break, continue, and pass? So if you try to understand with your summary, so break purpose is exit loop completely. Effect on loop, terminate the loop. It once the purpose of this is basically you want to exit the loop and terminate the loop. So use case is found what you need, stop searching. So once you found whatever you want, then stop searching, terminate the loop. That is the purpose of your break. Now continue, skip the current iteration. So whenever you meet that particular element, you skip that iteration and move for the next iteration. Correct? Skip invalid data, keep processing. So whenever we have invalid emails, skip that one and keep processing that. So that is the use of continue. Pass, do nothing. As I said, it do nothing. No effect on your loop. It just placeholder for future code. So whenever you have a future, let's say in this code, once you understand what you want to give the access to your developer, you will remove this and try to execute the further meaningful response of this developer user role. So I think it's clear, guys, what is the meaning of break, continue, and pass. So thank you so much. Please stay connected, and if you like this video, don't forget to share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for the further updates whenever I upload the video on my YouTube channel. This is not my YouTube channel, this is yours YouTube channel as well, guys. So thank you so much. Let's see you in the next video.